Alright, let's sew a plain seam. Grab your 2 pieces of fabric, put them front sides together. Back side should be facing you. And we're going to line up our raw edges. Seam allowance for fashion sewing is about 5/8, so I'm going to use that here. My sewing machine comes with an attachment that has seam guidelines on it, and I'm going to line that up with the 5/8 seam guideline. I'm going to line up the top edge of my fabric with my presser foot. There's a hole where the needle goes into. I'm going to line it up there. So you're going to want to put your needle down and then sew about a 1/4 inch forward and then backstitch. You want to lock it up to the edge of the fabric so you can lock your seam in place. So my machine does an automatic backstitch, so you're going to see it go forward and backward pretty quickly here. Alright, there it goes, forward and backward, and then I'm going to sew forward for you and then backstitch to the edge of the fabric. Now you can just continue stitching until you get to the end. Make sure you're looking at your seam guideline while you're sewing and not at your needle. If you look at your needle, you're going to end up veering off into places you don't want to be. Either look at your seam guideline or look at the edge of your presser foot and the raw edge. And as we're nearing the end of our fabric, we got to backstitch again. Alright, here we go. Backstitch, and then forward and cut. And that's it. That's all that's to it with the plain seam. There it is. And as you can see, the backstitching really reinforces that seam, so it doesn't come undone or unraveled. And when we open it up, this is what it looks like. You can envision this being one of your garments that you use to piece things together, or if you're quilting and piecing things together there, probably use a plain stitch or plain seam. Now then we need to cut off those loose threads. So take some thread scissors and cut them off. Want to keep things neat. Alright, now all that's left is to press open our seam. So flip it to the back. And open up that seam that we just created. Take your hot iron and press it open. This is cotton fabric that I'm using, so I'm using a pretty high heat and I'm using steam to press this. You want to be careful with whatever fabric you're using. That will determine whether you're using an iron or not. That's for a different video. But as far as woven cotton fabrics go, this will be good. And now we're going to flip it over and press this out. And there you have it. That's your plain seam. And on the back it has that unfinished raw edge. Thanks for watching.